Hi everyone, today's video is about the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. This is the latest chip, of course, from Qualcomm, seeing an improvement overall. At least do we? Well, in this video we're gonna find out how the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 performs, featuring of course the iQOO 11. I'm very curious to see where it has improved a lot, or maybe it hasn't. In this video you're gonna find out together with me. Well, technically I already know. It's quite surprising, but also not. Anyway, let's jump into how this performs compared to the Snapdragon 888, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, and of course the Exynos 2100. For some reason I decided to add it for the fun of it. Anyway, let's find out how it performs compared to those CPUs. So from the left to right, we start with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra that of course has the Exynos 2100 CPU, the Mi 11 that has the Snapdragon 888, the Vivo X80 Pro with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, the OnePlus with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, the Xiaomi 12T Pro with the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, the OnePlus 10T with of course that same Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, and of course the new iQOO 11 with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. RAM configurations are all listed below and they're all on their latest respective software versions. We will do a wildlife stress test. This is a 3D rendering that will have 20 loops to truly stress test them all. Now, as always, benchmarks are just that, and I don't think they are the perfect representation of reality, but they give an indication on how much stress they can handle. And then I prefer 3D Mark. Anyway, let's jump into it. So of course, as you see, there are several devices that I'm testing here simply to see how much they improved overall in terms of years. The S21 Ultra and the Mi 11 Ultra are a little bit older, so therefore I felt like seeing the process is really handy in this case. Seeing how much benefit you get out of it in terms of 3D benchmarking that doesn't tell a full story about the performance of a phone. Now, I uploaded a video with this test before, however I kinda messed up when it comes to the iQOO 11. I used the non-extreme test for it, and therefore it resulted in a very different performance level compared to what you saw on the other devices. So in this one, all of them are on extreme to showcase the difference in power and of course performance, and also in terms of heat that it creates. The OnePlus 10 Pro now also has Android 13 compared to the test that I did before, where it still was running on Android 12. And it is quite funny that now the OnePlus 10 Pro does reach the end of the test itself compared to before where it didn't. And therefore I always feel like I should do this test completely from the start over, instead of having just one device, in this case the iQOO 11, and just slice it where that iQOO 11 has a different result because of different temperatures than all the other phones around it. Well, it is the case that I previously messed it up when it comes to the iQOO 11 and using the wrong test. But still, I will have to say that the animation, the 3D rendering that is going on here is smoother on the iQOO 11. And also in terms of heat, without a doubt, I noticed that this phone doesn't get as hot as the others, where there are two devices that are close to 50 Celsius in terms of heat. But we're gonna find that out at the end of the test itself. And as before, sometimes I will showcase the temperatures itself, slow that down so you can properly see the temperatures of the devices that are running. I will have to say straight away, of course, just like the previous test, the OnePlus 10 Pro might make it to the end, but it definitely is heating up quite a bit compared to the other devices. It already reached 40 degrees quite fast, so in terms of temperature, you can definitely tell that that one is hotter. So while playing games and so on, you will notice that the temperatures of the OnePlus 10 Pro will heat up far faster than some other devices. Still, overall, I will say it's a great device, it just isn't good at these kinds of tests. However, it did make it to the end and it did decently well. So we finally finished the test itself. It's a 20 loop of this 3D rendering of a animation that is going on. This takes quite a bit out of your phone, and you have to take that into consideration when talking about phone tests like this. I don't feel like they're the best reference when it comes to how they perform overall. It's more of an indication on how much stress they can take, not the best indication of day-to-day life performance. So let's talk about the results, starting with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. It has a stability of 62.5%, with the highest score at 1898 and the lowest at 1186, and frames between 5 and 14 with a max temperature of 41 Celsius. The Mi 11 Ultra had a stability of 86.6, so quite a bit higher than the Samsung. However, the max score was at 1541 and the lowest at 1335, and frames between 6 and 11. The Vivo X80 Pro with the hot Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 had a stability of 62.5% as well, and it isn't very surprising seeing how this chip can get quite hot. The highest score, however, was 2573 and the lowest 1615, with the temps reaching a respectable 39 Celsius and frames between 7 and 19. Now, the OnePlus 10 Pro result is surprising because after the Android update, as stated, it managed to finish the test, which it did not do before. So the max score was 2595 and the lowest 1831, which is actually pretty good in terms of result, with a stability of 70.6, which is a surprise. However, it got to a scorching 49 Celsius while doing this test. Again, making this phone great for heating in these colder temperatures. And in terms of frames, between 8 and 21. But of course, that is with that crazy heat. So the Xiaomi 12T Pro of course uses that Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. So how does it perform? Well, stability wise, it's a big step up. It being 90% with the highest score 2816 and the lowest at 2535. With again a scorching max temp of 47 Celsius and frames between 12 and 23. The next one is the OnePlus 10T with that same CPU but suffering in terms of stability, with it being 60.6 and it just having weird drops and rises closer to the end of the test itself, with the max score of 2775 and the lowest at 1681. The temp itself, however, reached a max of 38 Celsius, which is good, and in terms of frames between 8 and 20. Now the big boy, the one that I messed up in my previous test, where I also got confused on how much higher it scored. Stability wise, it's still 65% that it had in the previous test as well. However, the max score is 3761 and the lowest 2443, so quite a bit higher in terms of max, but also not bad in terms of the lowest as well. In terms of temps, it reached a max of 38 Celsius, which is actually quite good, and it did feel the coldest out of all of them and also cooled down the fastest. In terms of frames, between 11 and 28. Something also worth noting is that I have a special contender. It's the Xiaomi 12X with the Snapdragon 870. Look at that stability. Again, as I stated in that review, I love the CPU. Now I also wanted to give you a little look at Geekbench results. These first scores are straight after the 3D Mark test. This means that there is of course more heat in the phones than normal, having of course a lesser result, but it's still a good way to showcase how they will do after a performance like that. And of course the OnePlus 10 Pro can join in this test as well. And to no one's surprise, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 performs best here in these number games, which again, as stated, only showcases a small part of the performance of a phone. But I know a lot of people want to see these results. Again, this is straight after the 3D Mark test, so I decided to let them cool down for a little bit and give it another shot to see how they perform then. With again, no surprise, the winner being the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. So the iQOO 11, how did it perform at the end? Without a doubt, it's a better performance compared to the previous generation, especially if you compare it to, of course, the older phones like the Mi 11 Ultra and the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, which isn't really a surprise. The one thing that is of course noticeable is that the stability isn't that great. 65% isn't amazing, and especially when you compare it to of course the Snapdragon 870 inside the Xiaomi 12X, It definitely doesn't come close to that. With that being said though, the performance definitely is better, and the main thing that I've really noticed is that when it does heat up, it doesn't get anywhere near as hot as the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 especially, and of course as the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, at least in my own experience so far. Also something that is noticeable, after using the phone for a while and playing games and so on, I noticed that heat does definitely go away faster when it comes to the iQOO 11. So better management here overall when it comes to the heat. So what do you think about the result of the iQOO 11 and of course the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2? And let me know if you want to see some gaming videos seeing how it performs more in real life situations. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to of course leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell icon, and of course comment below. It definitely helps out the video as well. Have a good one and talk to you guys in the next.